Hi guys! So today I wanted to do a tutorial on the cheapest makeup that I have. Most of my stuff, my drugstore stuff, I don't have anymore, so I kind of had to go searching. This is what I have left of my drugstore, because I can't use a lot of drugstore, which I'll get into later in the video. So I'm just gonna go ahead because I have an appointment in 2 hours. Actually, an hour and a half, so I'm kind of in a little bit of a rush. So to start off, I have my Rimmel London primer. I still haven't seen it. It used to be at Walmart. I don't know if it's still there or not. When I looked last, which was recent, I didn't see it, which kind of a bummer, but I think I have found another one to replace it. And I'm kind of worried about the foundation because this foundation in particular breaks me out. I'm a little worried, but I do have something to kind of cover it. Let that sit for a minute. I normally don't wait for it to set, but I will this time. For my brushes, I have these. This is the set that I usually use. Not all the time, but I got these from Five Below. I still can't pronounce the names, but a couple of them, like the spoolie and this flat brush here, I use all the time. So, and the eyeshadow palette, I'm actually really excited to use. So, for my foundation, I have the Wet n Wild PhotoFocus. And to keep me from having an allergic reaction, I am going to cheat a little. And I'm going to use the LA Pro Coverage in white to lighten it. I'm really scared because this is going to be really bad or really good. I've done this combo before and it didn't break me out, but I'm still worried. And I am going to put this on the back of my hand this time so I can mix it. I normally don't mix, but in this case, I don't have a choice. Oh man, this is not feeling good already. I'm going to add a little tiny pulp, just like that much. So it looks like that. Man, I'm not liking this. I'm not liking this. I decided to do the cheapest makeup I have. I know that a lot of beauty gurus have already done this, so I'm not taking credit for it. I just wanted to do it to see what it would be like for me. Oh boy. And for my sponge, I am using the Real Techniques sponge because it is the cheapest beauty sponge that I have. I was going to use a brush, but I don't have any cheap brushes to use, which is actually kind of sad. Because some foundations I add with a brush. Not often, but man, I already don't like this. Now, I am going to be doing a tutorial on the most expensive makeup I have, which that's going to be a really fun video. Because I do have a lot of, like, expensive stuff. This foundation alone, I mentioned in another tutorial, my face just breaks out. Like, it looks like someone took a matchstick and burned my skin. This is one of those foundations. This is, if not the worst foundation for my skin, which is why I try to mix it, and then people ask me, like, why do you still have it? Even though it's only $5, I feel like it's a waste. And I would rather mix it and, have a chance with it than me not have a chance with it. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like it's such a waste. Like, I didn't know that this was going to break me out the way that it does. Or it did. I have tried this combo before, and it seemed to keep it under control. I still broke out, but it wasn't too bad. And also another thing is that I wanted to try to add a title in this video, but I don't think I will. Because for some reason, like you may have noticed if you watched my last video, I had a watermark of the editor that I use. So if you didn't know, it's called Power Director. It's for your phone. And when I record it, because sometimes I record straight off to YouTube, or I record it off my camera and then transfer it over. But for some reason, my camera split it into 4 different parts, and then I had to merge them together, which I mentioned in the description box of that video. Oh my god, this looks terrible. I am also going to be using the sponge for concealer, which I've never used before, which I'm like, Kayla, why? Yeah, so I was going to try to add a title. If I can, I will. If I can't, I'm not worried about it. I'll just figure out a way to do it. Oh my goodness. Ugh. I mean, if you see this, you think it looks fine, you wait until after I take this off. I already have it on my nose. So that's not part of it. Like, you can see that it looks okay. But when I, later on in the day, oh my goodness. Oh boy. Okay, so for concealer, I have the PhotoFocus concealer in the shade Light Ivory, which is way too dark, but this was the lightest shade that I could find when it first came out. And also for the foundation, I'm in the shade Porcelain, which it's really dark for me. I have stuff all over me. Oh god, this is just, oh, feels terrible. So I'm gonna use this for under my eyes. Now I normally use this for cut creases because it's normally too dark. And I have found better stuff. Like, you can see, it's like a peach color. Oh boy. I do have another concealer that I am going to be using. It's the same price as this one, but it's a different shade to lighten this. Because, I mean, to me, this looks like a color corrector. Oh my gosh. I can't even put it on my chin. Like, you can tell if I bring this in. You can tell how much darker that is. On camera, it may not look that bad, but in person, this is not looking good. So I'm going to use the pointy end and blend this out. I'm starting to realize why these are so cheap. And normally Wet n Wild stuff is really good. Like, their felt tip eyeliner is like, if I know I'm going to be out and about and it's going to be raining, I use that. Oh man, this is terrible. Look at. And I do that crease on my nose. I do like this sponge, but for my foundation, I don't know, if I don't really get in there, like my EcoTools sponge that I normally use. Okay, we're just gonna put that over the side. I can't deal. So, for highlighting, I am going to use the Pro Concealer from LA Girl. I believe this is LA Girl. Yeah, this is LA Girl. This is just the straight up white. This isn't the light porcelain one. I don't have that one. I have other concealers I need to use up first. And this has a little brush tip, which makes things a lot easier. You just squeeze the product in and just brush it out. I mean, like, oh my goodness gracious. Oh yeah, we're putting most of this on. Yeah. Because I just can't deal with all that other nonsense. And so, oh my god, that looks so much better. This is going to make it look so much better. I can tell. Add some on my hand. Oh, snap. Let's dry down quick. Oh, this dry down's real quick. Oh no. Okay, don't be like me. Actually blend it before you put down the other eye. Oh man. Okay, hold on. I can save this look. Just take some 6+. Okay, give me just a sec. I'll be right back up. Well, this turned awful. This, not the white concealer, but the Wet n Wild one accentuated my pores. And when I added the LA Color, or the LA Girl concealer on top, it kind of went into my pores. And now it's like making them pop out more. Oh, and I have places to go. I don't have time to fix it. So, because I did say that this was unedited, I'm not going to edit it out. It's going to stay like that. But you can see, maybe not so much, but you can see where it wore off here. And you can definitely see it on this side where it wore off. Okay. Well, you know what? I'm going to put on crazy eyeshadow and make it look good anyway. So, you know, blessing in disguise. That's what I'm going to go with. Blessing in disguise. Oh, for loose setting powder, I am using the Fit Me, the Fair. This is from Maybelline. You get this at Walmart. A lot of these are pretty cheap. I think most of these are like pretty affordable, even for minimum wage. That was my neighbor, man. So for the powder, I am going to stick the sponge in. I'm going to use the other side, not the concealer side, the other side. my sponge is still damp, but it's not like soaking wet. I'm gonna make sure there aren't any creases, as usual. And you can see the powder that picked up. And put this right under. Just like I normally would. Now, this sponge does have a pointy end, which gets right in this inner corner, as you can tell. But, I don't know, I just like the Eco Tools one better because it has that sharp edge, and I feel like it gets all the way under, not just really good at getting that inner corner. Now, I am taking this powder, and I'm kind of just going like this with it to kind of hide the fact that I messed up. And I'm brushing that in all of my highlighted parts. Now, something I have noticed with drugstore stuff, if the more foundation or the more drugstore concealer you put on, you will have to put on more powder. Because drugstore foundations seem to crease, and so do concealers, seem to crease a lot more than anything I've ever seen. Like, I know for my Makeup Forever, or I don't have Makeup Forever, Makeup Revolution stick foundation that I have, that I do have to set with powder almost immediately, it seems like. Because it is a stick foundation. Now, I have used it with liquid too, and I noticed the same thing happens with liquid. So, yeah, I should have clarified. For the brushes, for these, I'm going to be using those for my eyes, not my face. I have other stuff for that I have. I didn't even really clarify that. People are going to be like, why didn't you use those brushes? That's what I meant. I noticed in my last video, I was stumbling all over the place. You know? I was like, dang. Okay. That's just as good as it's going to get. It did cover up a lot of my mess up, which I like, so. I fixed it somewhat. Okay, now for face powder, I don't like this powder. I legit don't. But I gotta use it for my face. It is the cheapest powder that I have. It didn't even show up. Oh, this looks gross. Okay, so when I just applied it, when I just applied this, it literally just made my pores look 15 times bigger. I mean, this is chalk. It's not even powder, it's chalk. And trying to get this stuff out, like, I kind of did this. You have to kind of, like, scrape it. And then there's the powder. And then even once you have it on your sponge, there, it looks better. But when you put it on your face, it, like, you can see where you put the powder. Oh! And it leaves marks on your face. And then when you try to blend it, you know, because you have to blend it, you know, like powder and just leaving it there, that's not a good idea. When you try to blend it, it won't blend. It literally, like, once you stick it, it stays. Oh my god, my face looks horrible. Horrible right now. Ew. Ew. I hate this. Ew. We're just gonna put that away. I'm so glad I'm almost done with that powder. Okay. Put my sponge over to the side. Now next, do I want to do brow? Well, I have to do eyes anyway. Might as well do eyes. So I have the Beauty Treats palette. This is the color one that challenges the Fizzy Art one. I don't have the Fizzy Art palette because they're just way out of my range. Like, that's a ridiculous price to pay for them. But I hear they're pretty good quality. I just, me personally, like, I can't see myself paying for that. So to start off, this is the eye shader brush from that set. And I guess all of these are it. And that's my phone ringing, so I'm not worried about it. There's been a bunch of salespeople calling. I'm going to start off with this white, which was my favorite white. Like, it's the whitest white. I'm going to pack that on my lid. And under the brow. Now this white is actually pretty good. You know, I'm not gonna front, you know, for $2, you know. They did have other palettes. I know that TJ Maxx sells a lot of their stuff. I'm gonna pat it out. I knew I dropped something. And now for the crease. What color I want to use. Do I want to go crazy? I might go crazy because my face looks so bad. I don't know. You know what? I'm just going to go crazy. I'm going to start off with that yellow. And this is like, you can see that I've used this palette a lot because, like, I mean, look at that pigment. You see the power? I'm going to put this yellow in my crease. It's a bright, like, sunshine yellow. And this shadow does have a lot of fallout. Like, this in general has a lot of fallout. So... And I used this for a while, like, when I go to Five Below a lot. They just happen to have, like, some really good makeup at an affordable price point. I mean, this palette was $2. And my other one that I have was, like, $4 or $5, I believe. And that one's not bad. This one isn't bad. This was before I started going to Ulta and Sephora in my big allergy thing. A big allergy crisis, which is something I do want to touch on. But in a moment. So next I'm taking the blender brush. And I'm going in, oh my god, going in with this teal shade. We're going to do something cool. We're going to do something really cool. I have a feeling. And with these, like, boom, you got pigment. And I'm putting this directly into the crease. So the yellow was kind of like the transition, and this is going directly into my crease. And this kind of skipped on me a little bit, so I'm gonna go. If you notice like an eyeshadow skipping like that, don't worry about it. you can always go back and blend it. So back to my allergy. So when I first tried out the PhotoFocus foundation, beforehand, I never had any allergies. But all of a sudden, like, I was fine. And then the next day, like, I had bumps all across my face. And, like, I didn't know what to do because I was like, I never had an allergic reaction like that before. And I was gonna throw it away, but I had literally just gotten it. And I was like, no way. I was like, this can't be the foundation. This must have been something else. But I couldn't think of what it was. And I started getting really scared. And I was like, uh-oh. I'm going back in with this yellow with my crease brush to blend out that teal shade. And so I was like, this has to be some kind of weird thing. So I tried it again the next day, and my skin, no joke, it looked like someone took matches and burned my skin, and then like my entire face was like that. Like my pores were so inflamed, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Like, what am I gonna do? And I took this face wash. It was from, I forgot the name of it. It was like Clean and Clear or something like that. Going back in with that white and blending the underneath the brow. And so I was freaking out at this point, and I was just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, what do I do? Because I didn't know what to do, like. And I took the Clean and Clear face wash and I started cleaning my face just to get it out. It wouldn't come out. And my skin got even more inflamed. And I was like, my skin's done. Like, I burned my skin. I'm gonna be stuck like this forever. Well, I was watching YouTube. I was crying and watching YouTube. And I saw Hey It's Faye. And she was testing out these Biore blackhead strips. And then I was watching a bunch of her blackhead videos, and she was cleaning everything. I think she was testing it or something. And I was like, that's it. It's a mask. I gotta get this stuff off. So I went out and got those Biore nose strips. And I peeled it off because I didn't want to do my full face in case I had another reaction. But at this point, I was trying anything. And I had the Biore strips. And my skin cleared up within minutes. Where the pad was, or where the strip was. I was like, cool, I got it. So I was looking through the store, and I got the Biore charcoal face mask where it's like a foaming mask. That, and then I used it with the L'Oreal Pure Clay mask thing that's in the tube. The green one that's in the tube. And that saved my skin. And I kid you not, literally overnight my skin changed. And I was like, oh my goodness. I'm going back in with that yellow. And I was like, Hey It's Faye, thank you. Thank you for introducing me to those strips, because I use them periodically. I don't use them that often. But when I do use them, it does make a difference. What color do I want to use? I kind of want to just keep it you know, I might need to bring that teal up. So I'm going to take some of that teal and bring it up a little bit because my eyes are a little hooded. I might just do a halo eye. Just do a matte halo eye. I don't know what I want to do. I do need to blend that out with the yellow. I just added a little bit more teal just to bring out my eyes. I am going back in with that yellow and blending it. This palette used to be the OG back in the day. That, and I used to have like this 100 eyeshadow palette thing, which was cool too, but you know, you just move on. Okay, actually, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go in with this purple down here, and I'm gonna put it in the outer V to deepen it up. And I mean, you don't need a lot on that either, and you can tell. I'm gonna put that on the outer V. Some of these shadows are a little chalky, but I kind of like the effect of it, especially when I'm doing like a cheap look. Have you ever had like the feeling where you have cheap makeup and you feel like, oh, it doesn't matter if it doesn't blend, but then like when you get higher up, it's like, oh, you expect so much more? I kind of get those feelings. So like today I'm going out later to visit with a friend of mine, and like I know this is like a cheap eye look, but for some reason, like, I always feel like it's just cheap makeup. Like, I don't care how it looks. And then when I have expensive makeup, like, I just feel like it's a waste if I put cheap makeup over top. Because some of this makeup is so expensive. Not expensive in the sense of, like, I mean, it is expensive, but I don't know what I'm trying to say. At this point, I'm just mumbling. So I'm going back in with that teal. And I'm going to blend just the outer V, just right above that purple. Blend it. See, I kind of like this because the teal mixed with the yellow and it made it really like a greenish teal, which is pretty. Going back in with that yellow on the side and blending it a little more. I feel like that is way too harsh. Whenever you blend, you want to make sure the edges are soft and that it has a nice gradient. Unless you're actually going for the hard edge look. Some people like to do that. I do it with some looks. Going back in with that purple. I do it with some looks, but not all of them. Not all of them look good like that. Okay, so this is what I have. And for the lid, you know what? I'm going out of my comfort zone. I'm using hot pink. I normally don't like pink. Pink is my least favorite color. But if I'm gonna go big, I'm gonna go home. Or I'm gonna go big or go home. So, probably gonna use this one. Both of them. I use both of them. Why not? Ugh. Ugh. I hate pink. And people ask me why I hate pink so much. Pink's just that color that stereotypically goes with girls and blah blah blah. And my room used to be hot pink. I wanted my room red. My grandmother tricked me. Because she wouldn't paint it red. She wanted it to be pink. So it's kind of like a compensate kind of thing. I hated that room. I hated the color of it for years. And finally, when I was 12, I told my grandmother, I was like, I want to paint my room a different color. And I was like, I hate it. It looks awful. And she was like, okay, what color? And I told her the color, and she was like, what? Which, grandma being grandma, it is her house. And she wants things a certain way. But I hated the color of that room, and I think she was starting to get fed up with it too. So I went on vacation, and when I came back, my room was done. My grandma painted my room, and I was so excited. And it's been like this ever since, and I love it. I love this room. I love the color of this room. I wouldn't change it. It has faded quite a bit. I know you can't tell because the lights are kind of yellow. But yeah, it used to be a lot brighter. So I just went in with this pink. I'm gonna go in with the other one now. Yeah, that looks cool. Sometimes I notice, like, with some colors, I don't like the actual color, so I'll mix it with another eyeshadow. And it looks a lot better. Also, I'm using the sponge applicator that came with the palette. I don't think this one exactly came with the palette. I think it was a different one. But in any case, I don't know how I feel about sponge applicators. I don't mind them, like, if it's a last resort. And I don't have a brush for my eyelid. Yeah, I don't want to contaminate my brushes. I just clean my brushes, like all of them. So, which that was a task in itself. So, yeah, we're not doing that. And I do have Fallout. Wonderful. I'm going to use my bronzing brush. I will be using this brush because this is my cheapest bronzing brush. Oh, for real? Great, that transferred. I will fix it before I leave, but for right now, it's going to stay like this. I just can't win. I'm going back in with that purple. And I'm going to blend the purple and the pink together. Which these blend perfect together. Which is weird. Because even with highly pigmented eyeshadows, sometimes they don't blend. It's kind of like patchy in the middle. But these blend like perfect. Like they're from high-end store. I'm going back in with that teal. I just dropped the sponge applicator again. And I'm going to re-darken, kind of like blending together that teal and the pink. We're almost done. Almost there. I know that my tutorials are pretty long. I do that for a reason. I don't know where that sponge applicator went. I'll have to look for it later. I don't have time right now because it's 11:16 and I have to leave in like 40 minutes. So we're gonna hold off on that. Everything should be set. Let me fix this. You can't see it on camera. I can. Oh, this looks so gross. So gross. Okay, why am I dropping stuff? What the frick? I'm not even worried about it. No, not even worried about it. Nope. I was going to put on lashes, but I don't seem to have a lot of time. That's gonna bug me. That is gonna bother me that I don't have my sponge right here because I feel like I'm gonna mess something up. I know, you get to see my lovely boobs. Like, that's great. Wonderful. Not like you all need to see that. Oh! Okay. For those of you who don't know, I am a pretty big girl, so. Whew. Man, used to be nice when I was skinny. Can't move like that no more. I wasn't trying to do that, so if you saw that, forgive me. I'm not trying to. It just happens. It's just going off great. So for my under eyes, I'm gonna go in with that yellow and that teal. I'm gonna start off with the yellow and put this right under my eyes. I do this often on my tutorials. Very rarely do I not do underneath my eyes unless I'm really in a rush. But I do normally do this. Oh man, my eyes look terrible. Like you can see. Okay, going with that teal. We're gonna get this done and over with because this is terrible. I'm just taking that teal to the outer V of my under eyes, and I'm going about halfway in with it. And then I'm gonna take that, blend that. I'm taking the excess off. You can see where it kind of like defines my eyes at the edges. And now I'm going to go back in with that yellow. I'm going to blend it out right here. And blend. Ta-da! It looks a little uneven. That's because I have a lazy eye. That's why I wear so much makeup, to try to cover it, because I'm very self-conscious about it. So for my brows, I do have other brushes from that set, so don't worry. This is the same. See, it's the same brand. This is, it's an angle liner brush, but I use it for brows for powder because I don't have a cheap eyeshadow or a cheap brow product. My cheapest one is Benefit, and that's it. And I don't want to use that. I want to try to make this as cheap as possible. So I am going to use eyeshadow. And I'm going in with the black because it's my soul. I make a joke with that with one of my friends. And this is what I used to do. When I didn't have a brow product. I always used powder or I used eyeshadow. Which isn't necessarily bad. You know, you're living. You know, it does work, but now that I have brow products, I love those brow products. It's just so much easier, you know? And I am going to use the spoolie. Now, this spoolie I normally use unless I have a brow product that has it. I'm really out of breath, man. That one thing really messed me up, trying to pick that sponge up. I'm noticing something, and I don't like it. I'm going to go back in with that white and soften up the edges. I don't have a lot of this white left. I am going in to soften up the edges of my eyeshadow. And I do always look at this mirror because with the lighting in here, it's not always the best. I always try to make sure the lighting's good for the camera for you guys first, before worrying about myself. I think that's about as blended as it's gonna get. Oh boy, this is not gonna look pretty at the end of the day. So, for liner, we need to add liner and lashes. I just came up. First things first. Mascara, L'Oreal Voluminous Carbon Black. It's waterproof. It's a fan fave. It's my fave. One of them. At least drugstore wise. The other one is Lash Paradise. It is literally a dupe for the Better Than Sex mascara from Too Faced. I cannot find a difference between the two. So if you used to use, or if you use the Better Than Sex mascara and you notice like it's just too expensive for you, or you got it as a gift and you want to get another one, get the L'Oreal Lash Paradise first. Change of life. I am going back with that powder a little bit. Just me. I know my brows have been so uneven. It's terrible to have uneven brows. And other people may not notice it as well as you do. I mean, you see like this one's super long. This one's short and angled. So when I look, looks like I got a raised brow. Not a fan. I gotta let this sit a little bit. Not like it's gonna do me any good because it looks terrible anyway, but I am, for liner, I'm gonna take the e.l.f. liner. This was only $2 at Walmart. Yeah. That's about it. I am going to be quiet during this part. I'm not gonna do a wing. I'm just gonna do my eyes. So I gotta stay quiet. So, forgive me. Well, actually, I'll give you a little tutorial. So, start in the inner corner. And then go out. That was terrible. If you can't reach the inner corner of your eye, it's best to turn your head like this. I learned that from Tati, is you can turn your head like this and get the inner corner, and then slowly kind of like bring that out. Went on my finger instead. We're gonna leave that in. You know why? Because I said when I made this tutorial, or this YouTube channel, I was gonna leave it unedited. And that is what I plan on doing. I am, however, going to take, you can see how eyeliner flooded my eyes. Okay, well that's just gonna stay there. I have to get this off my finger. So. I knew that it's gonna scrape. Don't worry, I got it. Don't do what I did. Pay attention to what you're doing. I might need to go get a makeup wipe. And then I'll just add everything back up over top. Or, you know what? Take that back. I'm gonna take a risk. I'm gonna put some more foundation on over top. Put some concealer. And then we'll see how it looks. I think I added a little bit too much white. And beauty gurus always say, like, don't put powder or cream on top of powder. That is true. I know how to fix it to such a small amount that it'll work. There we go, that's better. I am fixing my face. And this has darkened a lot. So like where it's white here, it won't be very long. Luckily it wasn't in the good spot, so. I'm gonna take that sponge again. And I'm gonna take this side. Blend it out. I'm gonna take that Fit Me powder. Put this on there. This is my fault. I don't use eyeliner very often. So I don't have a lot of practice with it. Boom. Gone. See that? Gone. Not completely. You can still see where it's lighter. I will be taking the... I have to go back in with the PhotoFocus powder. It's chalk. It's chalk. That's all it is. Chalk. Anyway. Going back in and patting it out. See, Wet n Wild was doing great until they came out with the PhotoFocus line. Everything in the PhotoFocus line was awful. And I don't even dare to try the foundation stick. I mean, it's terrible, man. The coverall, their coverall stuff, that was good. The powder was amazing. I don't even know if they still have it. They probably don't. Anyway, we're not putting on lashes. We have liner on. After that, I don't need liner. Or I mean, I don't need lashes. Done with that. I do still keep the e.l.f. liner. I don't use it a lot. But, you know. Oh, got a message. Sorry about that. So, what's next? That really shook me up. Okay, bronzer. No, sorry. We're going to use blush. Now this blush palette, you've seen a million times. This is the cheapest blush that I have. I have the Milani one, but that was $8, and this palette was $5. That's all I have of that. So for this, I cleaned all my brushes. You see, it's not clean. It's stained, but it's clean. Why not just go? I'm gonna take this dark. No, actually, I'm gonna take this coral shade down here. These don't have shade numbers. So, I'll just go, oh. That was with me tapping it off. Why not? I don't know. Just go crazy. I look like a clown. Well, fine. I don't care. I don't know my friend won't care either. I'll just give her the head. So for bronzer, I am going to use the Butter Bronzer. I have an e.l.f. bronzer, but it has shimmer in it, and it doesn't show up on my skin. It's just too light. So, and I wanted something to show up. So I am using this one. This is my bronzer that I used in my collection. I don't ever use my e.l.f. one. And I'm going to use that. You've seen me use this a million times if you've seen my other tutorial. This is taking forever. I know I'm looking at the time and I'm already hitting almost an hour. Normally, I don't edit. So, I mean, if you've made it with me this far, I know you're a real fan. If you haven't or you're just busy, it's okay. Okay, got that done. Now, to kind of contour my face, not contour, what's the word? I am going to take some of that Fit Me powder, and I'm going to take my sponge. Put it on here. I'm only taking like the tiniest amount. I'm tapping off the excess. I'm putting this down and really chiseling out my face and tapping it. And I may take the excess and tap over top. And then take the excess and tap it. Believe it or not, some of the stuff from Five Below is super pigmented. I just dropped my sponge again. Can't take a shot for how many times I dropped the sponge. Take a shot for adults. If you're a kid, take a drink of milk to build up your bones so you stay super strong and super smart. And don't be like me. I'm taking some of the excess foundation on top and just kind of patting it over. There's not a lot. It's just like literally just like that first layer. Finally, highlighter. Okay. For highlight, I'm taking the e.l.f. highlighter. And I might have a cheaper brush. I do. I had a better brush for blush. Huh? Better brush for blush? I'm just gonna take this all over shader brush that I use for the white under my eye, on my eyes. I'm gonna use that as my highlight brush. Why not? It's not gonna work. I'm gonna use my fingers. They're free. And I do use this sometimes, so. I need a little bit of something. In the light you can kind of see it. But in real life, it's like a glitter highlight, which I've mentioned before. I have used this a lot since that video. I have used this highlighter a lot more. I still find the same problems with it that I don't like. Notifications, man. People must really want to see me, you know? I mean, I'm really packing this on my finger and it's still not showing up that well. I mean, you can see it. I mean, I'm digging into this. And you can see it on my finger. It feels soft. I got eye boogers coming out. I mean, it feels good. It feels soft. It feels like it's gonna work. And then it doesn't. Okay. For lips, I have a couple options. My cheapest lipstick I have is over on my back wall, as you see right here. I think it's the Wet n Wild one. But I don't think it's going to go with this look, so I'm going to kind of cheat and use a Maybelline one, which is still cheap. It's still one of my cheaper ones. Don't want this chair to fall over. So I'm going to use... I can't make up my mind. I'm just going to use this one. Fine. Yeah, you see? This is me! I know I'm super fat, okay? Might as well make a joke about it. Yeah. It's fine. I'm gonna use this. This is not stolen. This was a sale at Harris Teeter. It was on clearance. I tried to peel the sticker off and it wasn't coming off. Just so we're clear. I'm gonna use this. That looks better. because the one I have from Wet n Wild is like a dark wine color. But I do have to go out. So, yeah. There's that. And for setting spray, this is my cheapest setting spray. I just recently started using it. This is the NYX Dewy Finish setting spray. This was like $8. Which I was like, what? Because I thought my Morphe one was the least expensive, but apparently not. So, give me just a moment. Oh, I squeeze with my thumb because I can't squeeze like this. I don't know. I'm weird. Let's sit down a minute. Boom. Oh, also in my last tutorial, I didn't realize this, but the last time I used this, my mascara had transferred to under my eyes. That was terrible. I did not realize that until afterwards, so forgive me. This one did not do it as bad as that one. You see, there's just that little bit. And my under eyes just look terrible anyway, so let me get y'all off this tripod. Okay. So I do always do my looks in natural light, just to show you what it looks like. And you can see, ta-da! It's actually kind of cloudy, but that's okay. So this is what it looks like. As you can see, my face is like, what? Yeah, I went a little bright. Before I go out, I will definitely tone that down. Some kind of way. Okay, so my next tutorial will probably be the most expensive makeup I have. And then from there, I will be doing maybe like a music inspired one. I don't know. I know definitely the next one I do is the most expensive makeup I have. And then I'll probably do something else. I've been trying to come up with ideas, so hopefully that comes up like I wanted to. We'll see. I can't make any guarantees because my work schedule is kind of off, so we'll see. That's pretty much it. So you guys have an amazing day and just chill. That's pretty much it.